It was several years ago now that we were down in London, myself, two brothers, and we were just having a sort of fun weekend, and we suddenly got a phone call one morning. It was a Saturday morning, and it was my mother, and I could barely make out what she was saying. She was clearly very distressed, and something about my father having collapsed. That was it. 10 minutes later, a good friend of the family rings up and says, "Look, I'm sorry, but your father has died." Now, my father was 62. He was healthy as far as we knew, and then you're looking forward to years and years of getting to know him and him seeing the grandchildren and so on, and suddenly you get a phone call and that's it, he's gone. And as you're standing there by the graveside and the coffin's being lowered down, inevitably you start thinking a lot about life, death, where's everything going, and bereavement becomes a very close thing. It's one thing to hear about other people losing loved ones and so on. Until you go through it, you don't really know what that is like. And so this book, in the Questions Christian Asks series about what happens when we die, it's a book which is relevant to all of us. We will all face bereavement at some point. We will lose loved ones will die. And we need to be thinking through what is a biblical perspective on death? What hope is there for the believer? What does it mean to grieve, but to grieve as those who also have hope? So it's relevant on that level, but also obviously for all of us, one day we too will be in the box being lowered down into the earth. And whereas some books you look on the shelf and you think, well, that isn't particularly of interest to me, that's not a question for me, the question of what happens when I die is a question that all of us in the end need to face up to, and we're going to end up there. And so this book looks at what actually happens the moment when you die, what will happen after then, how can we get ready for it. I would say this is one of the most important questions that we as Christians need to tackle. It's a question which in society is taboo. People don't like to talk about it. It's a question that the Bible addresses head on. And the Bible says that if we're believers, we have been set free from the fear of death. And that is a wonderful thing. And this book explores what it means to be set free from that fear and that slavery.